Hi. The plot thickens. The plot thickens. I am recording this with the Rode PodMic. Yes, this is the same, exactly the same Rode PodMic that failed and I did the teardown of. And magically, it's now working. Check, 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 1, 2. Doesn't have the pop filter on it, so there might be some plosives. But it's mystic after the teardown. What the heck? I'll put it down like this, and what the heck? It is working just fine. I will switch mics now over to my Rode NT1 and see if we can hear the difference. This is the Rode NT1. So let me know. See if you can hear the well, you should be able to maybe hear a slight difference, but the Rode PodMic is fixed. What the heck? Now, I did actually, not only did I tear it down, but after I put it back together, I actually gave it a few whacks because one of my leading theories was that the dynamic capsule in this, because this is a dynamic microphone as opposed to a condenser microphone here. So one of my leading theories was that the dynamic capsule, which is a physical moving coil in there in a big neodymium magnetic field, was that was somehow, I don't know, seized up or something. So I gave it a couple of whacks on the table, you know, upside down and boop, boop, like that. I gave it a couple of whacks. So unfortunately, I'm not sure what fixed it, either the teardown or the whacks. So I don't know, but I still don't trust it. Let me switch back to the PodMic USB and yep, I'm now back to the PodMic USB. So this is now working again, but I wouldn't trust it any further than I can throw the, you know, half a kilo of this thing. Weighs a lot. It has to weigh a lot because, as I said, it's got that dynamic capsule in there, and it's all about, you know, stopping the vibrations and whatnot getting into it. But yeah, it is fixed. This now sounds normal again. Yes, I don't have a low voice. If you haven't noticed, got quite a high rising terminal in my Australian accent here. So yeah, not exactly known for my low voice. But anyway, I do believe this is got no settings on it. I can open the Rode app. All right, I now have the pop filter on it, and I've got the Rode mic app open. And the input level here, we can twiddle the input level, but level seems to be okay. I'm going to leave that. And as you can see, it's got processing is turned off. I don't know what is this an optional update? Is this for the Rode Central software or is this for the mic? I'm not sure. But anyway, we can actually play around with this. I can, you know, add sparkle to my voice, 100% sparkle, or I can turn the Spartan. I don't need extra brightness to my voice. So that's 0. And then we go up to 100% sparkle. And then subtly enhances the lower frequencies in your voice. I need that set to maximum. So here it is now set to maximum. And I can now take that back down to 0. So if I turn that down to 0, punch. So let's go no punch, no sparkle, and just enhance the depth of the lower end here. I don't know what it sounds like. I'll have to play this back. But anyway, so that is depth, subtly enhance the lower end, and 50% sparkle, 100% sparkle, and 0 punch, 50% punch, and 100% punch. Adds light compression and noise gating, improving clarity and consistency. So there you go. We can do all that, but all that stuff was actually turned off. And then you can get more advanced stuff. You can actually set the attack threshold release, and you know, you can do with the compressor, and you can set the noise gate. You can, you know, aural exciter. Ooh, aural exciter is now off. Adjust the advanced parameters. Yeah, so big bottom, right? You can get like really advanced stuff. And this processing is done inside the mic, by the DSP inside the mic. So once you set it up, I believe that it's done inside. I think somebody mentioned then that will apply to the XLR output. So somebody, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, but somebody mentioned that in the comments, that the DSP happens anyway, regardless of whether or not you use the XLR output or whether or not you use the USB output via the internal ADC. So anyway, processing is now off and this works again, apparently. So I'll have to listen to this back. But yeah, I don't trust it any further than I can throw this half-kilo thing. I probably could throw it quite far into a wall, preferably. But no, I've already put in a repair request or whatever. Repair, they're not going to repair it. They're going to replace it, assuming that they do. Yeah, I don't trust it because I had issues with this before, which is why I stopped using it for the amp hour podcast, and I went back to my Rode NT1, and I just had it sitting there doing nothing for like a year or two or something. So yeah, I don't know. I would not trust this again. So yeah, I won't be using this unless they send me a new one. So anyway, thoughts and comments down below. Just magically fixed. Was it my whacking on the bench, or was it the teardown? I can't see how it could be the teardown. I don't get it. By the way, that little spring inside, it looks like what that spring was that connects the, you know, up through there. That's to ground the XLR connector, because the XLR connector is actually floating in there. So, you know, it's got a bit of like a rubber baby buggy bumper, you know, shock absorber kind of thing in there. So it's kind of like floating in there. So that's to electrically connect the case of the XLR connector through to the aluminium case of the mic. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know. But I don't trust it. Catch you next time.